I'm scared of the PMP exam. It's going to hurt me.
Don't be ridiculous, boy. The exam can't hurt you if you've prepared well for it.
But I've heard horrible things from other people who've taken the test.
Well, what those people didn't tell you is they didn't prepare in the best way possible. They didn't consult with your friend Phil at Praizion Media. My advice to you before the exam is to go on down to the website, Praizion.com, Praizion.com.
Do you mean Z-I-O-N?
Yes, Z-I-O-N, if you pronounce Z as Z. Go on down to Praizion.com. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the PMP Exam Radio Show. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. Lots of you are getting ready for the PMP exam, ramping up for the end of the year. And that's why today we're going to take a little quiz for the PMP exam. Are you ready? Let's go. What is the name of the role in Scrum that is responsible for the process and integrity of Scrum? If you need more time, hit the pause button. 3, 2, 1. The answer is the Scrum Master. Next question. What is an Agile method that is used with deep reflection on WIP, work in progress? 3, 2, 1. The answer I was looking for is Kanban. Next question. You are using a technique in which multiple team members focus simultaneously and coordinate their contributions on a particular work item. What do you call that technique? 3, 2, 1. The answer I was looking for is mobbing. Next question. You're using a visualization tool as you go through an Agile project. This tool enables improvements to the flow of work by making bottlenecks and work quantities visible. What is this visualization tool called? 3, 2, 1. The answer is Kanban board. Next question. You are a servant leader on a project and you are involved in removing an obstacle that prevents the team from achieving its goals. What is a name for this obstacle? 3, 2, 1. The answer is impediment. Let's step things up and talk a little bit more about the world of Agile. You're a servant leader on an Agile project and you're involved in taking a look at a document that helps the team understand the definition of ready and the definition of done. Which document does this describe? Is it A, project charter? Is it B, team charter? 3, 2, 1. The answer is team charter. Refer to the Agile Practice Guide, page 50. Next question. You're a project manager working on a hybrid project. On this project, you're using a method where team members at the end of each sprint Share what went well, what didn't go so well, and improvements that are recommended for the next sprint. Which ceremony does this describe? 3, 2, 1. This is, of course, the retrospective. Next question. Complete the Agile Manifesto value statement. Individuals and interactions over what? 3, 2, 1. The answer I was looking for is over processes and tools. Next question. In the Agile Manifesto, the principle, our highest priority is to satisfy the what? 3, 2, 1. It reads, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. I typically revise that to read valuable product for those folks who are working in non-software environments. Next question. Kanban and Agile are both subsets of what? 3, 2, 1. Agile and Kanban are both subsets of Lean. I would advise you take a look in the Agile Practice Guide, page 11. Now, just a few more questions. You're working on a project with a high frequency of delivery and a high degree of change. Which approach should you use to deliver this project? Is it predictive, incremental, agile, or iterative? 3, 2, 1. The answer is agile. Agile works best when you have a high frequency of delivery and a high degree of change. Next question. You're working on a project with a high frequency of delivery and a low degree of change. Which approach should you use? Is it predictive, incremental, agile, or iterative? 3, 2, 1. If you are using a high frequency of delivery and a low degree of change, the best option is incremental. Refer to figure 3-1 in the Agile Practice Guide. This is on page 19. Next question. On your project, you have a high frequency of delivery and a high degree of change. Which approach should you use? Is it A, plan-driven? Is it B, change-driven? Is it C, iterative? 3, 2, 1. The answer is change-driven because that's agile as well. Bear in mind that agile is known as change-driven and adaptive as well. Next question. You're working a project where there is a high degree of change and a low frequency of delivery. Which approach should you use for this project? Predictive? Is it incremental? Is it agile? Or is it iterative? 3, 2, 1. If you are working a project with a high degree of change and a low frequency of delivery, that needs to be iterative. Again, figure 3-1, page 19. Here is your final question. You're working a project which has a low frequency of delivery, a low degree of change as well. Which of the 4 approaches should you use? Is it plan-driven? Is it change-driven? Is it incremental? Or is it iterative? 3, 2, 1. The answer is plan-driven. Okay, now we are done with very specific Agile content. I will ask you 2 final questions that cut across Predictive and Agile. On a Predictive project, which element is fixed? Scope, schedule, or cost? Hit the pause button if you need more time. 3, 2, 1. On a Predictive project, the element that is fixed is scope. Next question. On an Agile project, which of the following elements is not fixed? Is it schedule? Is it cost? Is it scope? 3, 2, 1. On an Agile project, the element that is not fixed is scope. Scope is flexible. Next question. On an Agile project, which of these elements is fixed? Is it A, scope, B, schedule, C, cost, or D, quality? Three, 2, 1. That was a somewhat trick question because 2 of the options are correct. The answer I was looking for is schedule and cost. In the world of Agile, we fix those parameters. We have a stable team. We have a team. We understand the cost. We have a time box, a sprint, and whatever we can fit within the sprint, we do. The sprint is fixed. That's the time box. The team is fixed. Could more people join the team? Absolutely. But we know what we are working with cost-wise and schedule-wise. Those are the fixed elements in the world of Agile. Final question. On a Predictive project, which elements are not fixed? 3, 2, and 1. The elements that are not fixed are schedule. The elements that are not fixed are schedule and cost. And that concludes our review for today. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you. If you are struggling with your PMP prep and you're looking for a course to boot you into shape, you need to go on down to projectmanagementmasterclass.com. That is projectmanagementmasterclass.com. In the next few days this weekend, starting on the 30th of October, this will be our final masterclass for 2021. This is your final chance in 2021 to join me for 4 weeks, combing through all of the content for the PMP exam. I look forward to seeing you. Take care, and bye for now.
Project Management Process Group Scenarios. Chapter 1. Initiating Process Group Scenario. Mary is a project manager with a leading global engineering firm. The firm's 2 largest clients just merged, and where there are mergers, there are sure to be new endeavors, also known as projects.
Hi, Mary. We just won a new contract, X1. We bid and we won. This is a client we already have, Doe and Zachary's merger.
Really? They merged?
Yes, and they recently stumbled on a fortune in some archaeological site after the merger.
Wow. How exciting.
This will require the best of our best in engineers, geologists, archaeologists, technologists, and of course, project managers. So I've decided that you should lead this project, since you led Project T5. You are pretty familiar with the hardware requirements on similar projects, weather-related threats, and required capacity. You will also report dotted line to Bill, the new program manager who helped me develop the charter.
Wow. How exciting. I am happy to hear that, Dr. Burns. Have we got any preliminary or high-level requirements and a business case for me to go through?
Oh, yes, we do. It's all built into the charter, and you can read the contract and statement of work, too. All the relevant information from the contract and statement of work is in there as well. I would like you to do the usual. Have a preliminary internal meeting with the teams and get all the key players on board. Do the usual. Scope out the detail using previous projects as a benchmark and get us a schedule together by the end of the month to present to the client.
Sounds like a plan. Which engineering team was pre-assigned during the sale?
Team 5, Douglas and Max. And you know what tough nuts they can be with their time, so plan carefully. Get them on board with anything you finalize and run it by me before the end of the month. I'll be in Germany early next week, but I should be back in a couple of weeks. If you need me urgently, please contact Liz first. Accounting will have the charge code XY15A open for you to begin charging. Contract value is $50 million for the duration, but look out for those funding limits.
Okay, thanks, Frank. I will follow up with you before the meeting.
Oh, and before I forget, let me sign that charter so you can get it archived. You know how Pincus espouses the digital nervous system and organizational process assets thing.
True. He became a convert after he witnessed the value of a PMBOK and PMP-centric organization.
Pincus knows we stand no chance on those GSA schedules, which is probably why he wants all PMs certified by the next fiscal year.
We are getting there, though. We're still CMMI level 2, in my opinion.
All the boys from Flight Wing are PMPs and PMI ACPs. Talk about being provoked by the competition. We will be stepping things up a notch after this project. Doe's chairman, Zachary, is pretty demanding, and if we want their continued business, we really need to step up to the plate.
Indeed. Hopefully we will win the huge contract from the MOD next year, but I better jump on X1 right away and start my stakeholder identification and stakeholder analysis.
You bet. Why don't you send me your stakeholder register when you're done, and let's see if there's anyone to add from our sister companies or externally.
Initiating the project in plain terms. Initiating the project involves identifying a need, understanding the business case and the high-level requirements, and then transforming all that information into a succinct, precise project charter which authorizes the project. It also involves identifying and analyzing project stakeholders.
Project stakeholder management. Tell me, what is the first process of project stakeholder management? The answer is identify stakeholders. Tell me, what is the major output of the identify stakeholders process? The answer is stakeholder register. Tell me, what is the second process of stakeholder management? The second process of stakeholder management is plan stakeholder engagement. Tell me, what is the major output of plan stakeholder engagement? The answer is stakeholder engagement plan. What is the third process of stakeholder management? The third process of stakeholder management is manage stakeholder engagement. Tell me, what is the unique output of manage stakeholder engagement, if any? As you probably guessed, there is no unique output of managed stakeholder engagement. The outputs are change requests, project management plan updates, and project document updates. What is the fourth and final process of stakeholder management? The fourth and final process is monitor stakeholder engagement. Tell me, what is the unique output of monitor stakeholder engagement? The answer is there is no unique output of monitor stakeholder engagement. The outputs are business as usual: work performance information, change request, project management plan updates, and project document updates. Taking a look at stakeholder management, the ITTOs are not that uncommon. Remember, this is the final chapter in the PMBOK guide, and as a result, lots of the ITTOs have already been covered. Let's take a look at some general tools and techniques. Tell me, in which process of stakeholder management is communication skills used? Communication skills is used in two processes of stakeholder management: manage stakeholder engagement and monitor stakeholder engagement. Tell me, in which process of stakeholder management is the tool and technique known as interpersonal and team skills used? The answer: there are two processes where interpersonal and team skills are used. 1. Manage stakeholder engagement, and 2. Monitor stakeholder engagement. Tell me, which processes of stakeholder management use meetings as a tool and technique? The answer is they all use meetings as a tool and technique. Final question: in which process of stakeholder management is the project management plan first seen as an input? The process of stakeholder management where the project management plan is first seen as an input is identify stakeholders. That's right, even though it's in the initiating process group, it uses the project management plan in instances where identify stakeholders recurs throughout the project. That concludes our review of the stakeholder management knowledge area and also our review of the entire unique ITTO series. I hope you enjoyed it. Continue to study, get good, make sure you understand what you're studying. I often tell students use a get good approach. Good as in GWUD. My get good system is based on these questions. For every process in the PMBOK guide, what am I getting from the process? And where is that thing going and why? And also, what am I using to run that process as a tool and technique or an input? What exactly am I doing in the process? And that forms GW²UD. I call it the get good system. What am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? Where's that thing going? And why? I hope you enjoyed it. All the best.